this is the Provoked Prawn doing something a little bit different for a change, and I'm bringing you a device which isn't a gaming peripheral or component, but instead is something that helps me craft my videos and something that you might find interesting. This is Remarkable 2, which as you can see is essentially a notebook, but with a difference because it's a digital device, kind of similar to an Amazon Kindle, except it's designed to let you write on it as if you have a pen and paper in your hand, but in a digital format. Now, I spent a lot of money on this device because I wanted something that I could have on my desk, within reach, with an easy grab that I could use to craft a to-do list or jot down my notes on. I'm not really a fan of notebooks or papers because I don't like having things piled up around me and they're just a big mess. And I also don't really like taking notes digitally, like to-do lists online, because I find that I just forget about them and I don't think to check on them often enough. So having something physical is pretty important to me. And this is a sort of interesting stopgap between those two. Now, this is a very expensive device. It's not cheap. If you check out the links in the description, you'll find out how much money it is. And it was a bit of a nervous purchase because I wasn't sure I would get on with it. And I thought maybe I was wasting my money. But I've actually been using it for quite some time now and thoroughly enjoying it. And in the background, you're going to see me unboxing it. And as I talk to you about what it's like to use. And essentially, this is a simple interface on the face of it, but it actually has the potential for a lot more. For example, you can do all sorts of things with it. You can include cloud storage, for example, where you can take notes and do other things and then email them to yourself. And you could like download a PDF. You might need to digitally sign things, for example. If you have an important document that needs to be digitally signed, you can use this to sign it and then email it to yourself. There's all sorts of clever things you can do with it, but that's not what I'm using it for. I'm using it for possibly the most basic thing you can do with it, which is just taking notes and creating to-do lists. Now, in the box, the model that I purchased comes with the device itself, a sleeve to put it in. You can buy nicer things, and then the pen. The pen also comes with a number of tips that you'll see. So eventually over time they'll wear out and you'll have to replace them, and that again is another expense, which is a bit of a downer, I think, and a potential thing to put you off. But you can see them on the left hand side. These just have some tips that you can insert in the pen, and just like any sort of pencil, and a real life pencil, it'll wear out, and if you put too much pressure on it, I feel like it'll wear out quite quickly, but mine hasn't worn out yet. And this, obviously, this setup allows me to just have it on the desk and to be able to easily make notes and jot down my thoughts and keep track of things, but in a physical way without having a stack of papers and other things. And as you can see, it does clever things too. So for example, if you reverse the pen, on the other end of it, you essentially have an eraser. So you can just delete what you've written or parts of it. There are also tools built into it where you can select. You'll see here, for example, you can set it so you can erase a particular area. You can erase the whole thing, or you can set to erase a selection. So you can just draw around it, and then that will automatically delete it. That sort of logic can also be applied to moving. So there is a selection tool that you can use where you can draw a box like that I just did there over a bit of text and move it around. This is absolutely fantastic for my to-do lists because sometimes I reprioritize things. So I'll have a bullet pointed list of tasks that I want to get on with, videos that I want to create, but I might reprioritize because something new and more exciting comes in, or maybe my workload changes and I want to move stuff around. So instead of having to sort of cross things out or to redo the page, you can just select them and then move them up and down the page. You can also change the style of ink that's coming out of the pen. So you can see you can make it like calligraphy style, like a fountain pen, for example, if you want to. You can create all sorts of different notebook styles. So you can see you have different templates where you either have cross-patterned or lined pages, or like a bullet pointed list. Or you could just have a blank page and create your own thing there. So it allows you to create a multitude of styles. You're not stuck in one thing. Also, because it's sort of software based, you'll also get regular updates from Remarkable that'll download to the tablet or the device, and then you can get improved features in the future. And if you look, you'll find a number of different reviewers talking about all the different features that are available on here. But for me personally, it just does exactly what I want. And the great thing about it as well is because it's sort of this e-ink technology, it basically lasts in terms of battery for a long time. I found that I don't need to turn it on and off regularly and plug it regularly in to charge. It's just got the power when I need to. And when it does run out, it's such a rare occasion. I very rarely plug this in. I can leave it for a long time as well, like a couple of weeks, forget about it, not use it, and find that when I go to use it next, it's still got battery, even though it's been sitting there without being plugged in or anything. It has a USB-C charging cable you can see included with it, and you can just plug it into a standard power brick and charge it up that way when it gets low. So a lot of flexibility. You can create multiple different notebooks. You can create multiple different situations. So you might have a to-do list on one hand, a notebook on another. You might have a work sort of box. I've actually been sharing this with my wife as well. So you can set up pages that she can use and then ones that I can use. And you obviously have that logic if you sign up to the cloud service that you can do other things with it there. And it becomes a lot more intelligent. But just as a basic tool for helping me keep on top of my workload and sort of managing my tasks and my things that are going on in my brain, because there are a lot of things that are happening in terms of what I'm doing with the channel and the videos that I'm creating. This thing has been really useful. So despite the massive expense and the massive outlay, which is obviously potentially going to put a lot of people off, I would say that this has been a fantastic purchase for me. It is a very sort of niche use case. There are a lot of other things that you can do with it. You can see, for example, that I'm doing some terrible drawing right now. So perhaps if you're a bit more creative and you have a mind to just doodle and sketch and do other things, there are other opportunities here to mess around and play around with this. This unboxing and review has not really been sponsored in any way. I literally purchased this myself. I just wanted to share some sort of insight into my crazy world. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. Be sure to check out the links in the description so you can find out more about it. It is a wonderful bit of kit. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting, hilarious, or otherwise. Take a look at these other videos that I think you might find interesting as well. And have a look at the description for links and other information you might find useful. Click that join button to see the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, have a great life.